So, my superhero is the Green Swordsman. So, the backstory of how I was created, or the Green Swordsman was created, was that legend says that there was an evil villain named Dr. Procrastinator who once tried to rule the world, and he came across the prophecy that said that there would be one day where someone named the Green Swordsman would come and take over and save mankind. And to try and prevent that from happening, it's either that he shot me with a hypersonic blast, or he tossed me into a bunch of hypersonic waste, so he tries to kill me off, but I forget and I'm still alive. So the powers that I gained from being tossed in there were I can shoot green energy from my hands to fend off a bunch of villains, and I have swords in my back to protect me in one-on-one or hand-to-hand combat. And so some of the skills that I obtained over this epic journey to save mankind, or some of the powers that I was able to, I guess, gain, were collaboration, communication, adaptability, problem solving, and time management. And so my keynote is basically, I'm going to say what the problems are, what the solutions are, and then I'm going to get into like an alternate universe of where my hero sits. So collaboration, also known as partners fighting crime. So in the real world, some of the problems with this were that our group didn't cooperate all the time, and sometimes we did a lot of individual work. And I think that it's kind of like a big part, like collaboration was a big part of one in our group work, because just group work in general, like the word group means to work together kind of, and we didn't really do that in the beginning. We just kind of did our own thing, and then it was a lot easier for us when we worked together like the whole way instead of working individually and then just matching the whole thing together to make the end product. So the solution to that was that we learned to work together better, and we also worked more as a group rather than individuals. And I think that this was very evident in our year-long project, as well as the Codename Verity project, where we had to create like a little play or movie of the Codename Verity, like the story and the important parts. And I was very thankful that Shane lived so close to me, so that it wasn't like a hassle for us to like be driving so far, because he lived very close to me, so I could drive, so he could come to my house in like a matter of 5 minutes. So then we cooperated on that, and I think the end product came out really well. And also it was evident in the year-long project, because we did work together towards the end. Like we worked together to work on the system and kind of address what problems there were and things like that. Now in the alternate universe, as I stated earlier, the Green Swordsman had to take on the first villain, which was the one-man terrorizer. So the one-man terrorizer, he's very selfish and he works alone. He doesn't like to have any companions with him. He thinks that he can just take on everybody just by himself. So we, Green Swordsman and just a couple friends, we just took him down because with using the new power of collaboration. So the second skill or the power I gained was communication. So some of the problems with that were that we ended up doing like the same work over and over, and we just wasted the time and just set us back a lot. And we made a lot of errors because of communication. And I'm just gonna say one example where there's one time where we were building a sawhorse, and then so Patrick and I, we were just kind of not really doing anything. We were like, okay, we're just gonna go cut this piece of wood and be productive and help the group. And then when we came back, our other group members were like, where's the piece of wood that we were supposed to connect the two sawhorses? We were like, oh, that. And so that kind of just set us back, and we used one, it was just like a bunch of extra wood. But the solution was that we created a group chat to talk to direct, kind of direct each other on the right path. And another example of communication was during spring break, where we kind of took pictures of our system to see what was wrong, or we kind of informed our whole group what was wrong, or what happened over spring break, and what plans need to be in there by the time that we go back to school. Now, in the alternate universe, the green swordsman he had no idea that there was an undercover villain, the lone sorceress. Now, she is very sneaky and persuasive, and she really just keeps to herself. So that's why when he noticed that if there was one person who was lacking in his own group that was trying to save mankind, it was her, because she wouldn't communicate with the rest of the group. So that's when he discovered that she was a villain, and he took care of her. So adaptability, which is a very important skill, I think, that came into play during our dry run of a cooking competition. So some of the problems with that was, first, we didn't really know how to improvise. So when something went wrong, we kind of, I guess, gave up. Like, we didn't really know what to do after. And there's a really good example in there where it was like the dry run of the cooking competition, and then right before we were about to leave to go, good thing Jordan asked, because I just totally forgot. He's like, who brought the chips? And it was pretty evident that nobody brought the chips. So we had to kind of improvise and adapt to that situation, and then we used Jordan's snack of potato chips instead of tortilla chips. And so the solution to like adaptability is that we found a way to pull through in the end, and we tried to adapt to all the situations and tried to find another way to solve the problem, because there's always more than one way. So in the other world, the green swordsman had to take on the inflexible force. And he is very tunnel vision, like he only sees things one way, he only knows how to do things one way. And when he encounters a problem, the only way he tries to solve it is to just kind of smash his way through everything. And with the new skill or power of adaptability, I think that we were able to take care of him, because we knew other ways to solve problems and he did. Problem solving. Now, you guys might be saying that maybe adaptability and problem solving isn't the same thing, but I see adaptability as you adapt to the situation at hand and then you try to work your way around it, and then problem solving is that you encounter a problem and then you solve the problem and you keep sticking to your original plan. And some of the problems with that were that we weren't critical thinkers, and it was hard to find another solution when something went wrong. And when there was always a problem, we'd always point fingers at each other, blame each other first. And if you look closely in this sawhorse picture, I know it's kind of dark, but you can see that our sawhorses, like the nails, aren't even on the sawhorse. And I think that we kind of turned towards each other a lot, and we would, like when something went wrong, we would always blame each other, like, how come you didn't do this, or how come you didn't do that? And we didn't really think of what really happened. We just kind of just started to blame each other. And that's how we got into a lot of arguments. And so some solutions were that we got together and discussed another solution or to another way around the problem, so that we could just keep going. And we took the initiative upon ourselves, and we stopped blaming others. Like, so if somebody actually did mess up, we would expect them to actually say they were sorry and just accept their apology and move on from there. And problem solving was the fourth power I learned. So we defeated the villain Roadblock, who was just the person who tried to do anything in his power to try and just block us from our success. And I think we did a good job. I think the Green Swordsman did a good job of taking care of him, because he knew how to use adaptability from the previous power as well as problem solving. Okay, and lastly, time management. So some problems with that, where we put a lot of work off to the last minute, and we only strive to be just average or just good enough. And like a good example, a bad example of problem solving or time management, is like when we did our documentary, like we did all the interviews at school and we did a lot of that stuff, and then it just ended up just becoming homework because after we were just like, we can just do this documentary at home, no problem. And I think we kind of just kept putting off documentary till the end, and we were like, we'll just do documentary tomorrow until we realized, wait, it's due today, we have to finish it today, so there's no tomorrow. And then, so some solutions for that, we started to do a lot of work at school. For example, we finished our recipe and perfected it on our poster board, and we tried to be better than average, so we tried to stop procrastinating because that would leave us with a product that we didn't really expect. Like, it's just like a good product, it just wasn't a great product. And after a long, hard-fought battle, using time management, we defeated the Dr. Procrastinator. So in conclusion, this was a very enriching experience, and I learned many life skills that I definitely will use in the future. And I just want to say that my group, we had a really rough start. I'm not trying to say this to like belittle my group or like make my group sound bad, but we definitely had a rough start. And I'm really glad that we were able to pull out in the end and work together to kind of fix all our mistakes. And I figured that you guys might want to see like a battle or something, so I made a short clip. Well, there's no sound.
You turn up on your iPad. No, it's on your it's whatever's on your iPad.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So just say stop motion.
Oh, it's pretty neat.
You made that?
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.
A couple of comments, guys. Being the teacher, it's funny because they really did struggle. Kind of, they were quiet, but their group dynamic was pretty bad at some points. Like I would ask them, "What's going on here?" And then you get your fingers out, all of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other big concerning thing that I saw was the fourth boot camp. I think that was the one Chef Matt said, here's the recipe, you guys make it. He didn't give you step-by-step instructions. Mm-hmm. About, 20 minutes in, I got there and everyone in this group, Travis's group, is standing there.
Yeah, we were just standing.
Like, I'm yelling, what are you guys doing? And it's nice to see you guys really did pull through. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just like the speech of bashing
Hey, Tiffany.
Did you draw those pictures?
Oh no, I went to a website and then like they gave me a bunch like a template and I just put
That's
stuff
really
on and then
cool.
colored it.
Oh, neat.
You have the coloring? You did the coloring for it?
Yeah, the colors for the buildings and stuff.
That's it.
Any other questions? What do you think was what made the turning point for your group? What was it? And then you guys, your group members can chime in, I guess. Excuse me.
Parental threats.
Huh?
Parental threats.
Oh. Okay.
I think like what made the turning point or when was it?
No, what made the turning point? What turned it around for your group? Because it wasn't like one person. It seemed like all at once you guys kind of.
Our grades.
Was it the grades that you guys realized like, holy crap?
That's probably one. I think like when